Hello, and thank you for joining me today in my podcast. I am Eddie Donnelly, and today we'll be discussing the role of corruption in society as it relates to justice. According to Catholic social teaching, there are three kinds of justice: contributive, distributive, and commutative, which can be represented in a triangular manner. This triangular approach to justice suggests that in excluding just one side, the figure would not be a triangle, as it would therefore not even be a shape at all. You would get something like this. It's not a shape, it's not just, in the eyes of Catholic social teaching. So, moreover, if one aspect of justice were excluded, then it would not be just in the eyes of Catholic social teaching. So let us construct an equilateral triangle where all of the sides are equal. And let's label it justice. So on one side of this equilateral triangle, we'll have distributive justice, which addresses the relationship of the community's responsibility to an individual. At its core is the following equation: equal work equals equal outcome. That's a lot of equals. But bearing in mind that equality is at the core of modern liberalism in the United States. Now, distributive justice is the primary concern of the Democratic Party, which seeks to achieve justice by means of structuring a strong middle class so that goods would be equally distributed throughout society. Now, on another side of this equilateral triangle, we'll have commutative justice, which governs the relationships of individuals to one another. Therefore, fair dealing between employer and employee, between consumer and vendor, and between borrower and lender. Now, these sorts of relationships fall under the rubric of commutative justice. This commutative aspect of justice is favored by the GOP, or the modern Republican Party, as it pertains to their conservative worldview. So, although political rivals, there is one thing that both Democratic and Republican parties can agree on, and that's the common good. So, contributive justice pertains to the common good and covers those aspects of determining what an individual's responsibility is to the community. So now we're going to talk about justice and corruption. In today's society, corruption is all around us. It is both a major cause and a result of poverty in the world. Corruption affects all levels of society, from local and national governments to judiciary functions to large and small businesses, etc. Consider the following verse from Isaiah 10, which reads, "Woe to those who rob the poor of justice! Woe to Assyria, whose purpose is to destroy! The remnant of Israel will return to Yahweh." This verse can be applied to today's society in the following manner. Let us replace the word Assyrians with the word government, and the word Israel with our nation. Rereading it. Woe to those who rob the poor of justice. Woe to the government whose purpose is to destroy. The remnant of our nation will return to Yahweh. Now, in a more contemporary context, the aforesaid verse expresses a dishonest government and a struggling nation. Its people are poor and their situation is unjust. However, the last line does suggest that justice will prevail in the end. It is true that our nation's government is corrupt in many ways, and that there are many corrupting figures that are part of it. Need I mention the controversial governor of New Jersey, Chris Christie? The reason I bring up our governor is to make a case in point for corruption in our government system and how it affects, quite unjustly, the lives of working men and women. Again, recall that equation of distributive justice. Equal work equals equal outcome. The governor is not willing to make that equation true at all. Please consider the following excerpt from a letter written by the president of the NJFMBA, Ed Donnelly. It's my dad. It reads, "While he, Chris Christie, launched his campaign for governor in 2009, pointing to the sacred trust that existed between us and government, and promising that, quote, nothing will change for the pensions of current firefighters, future firefighters, or retirees in a Christie administration, end quote, his attacks on us began almost the second he took his own oath. In the 6 years since taking office, he has gutted retirements for future members, taken away costs of living adjustments for our retirees, and increased our current members' pension contributions by nearly 20%. That there is corruption and dishonesty at its finest, and it is therefore crippling the distributive side of the justice triangle. Thank you for joining me today, guys, and I hope to see you soon on my next podcast.